Tell me if this sounds familiar. You're at a party or a family dinner, or maybe just out with friends. There's music, there's laughing, there's a dozen conversations buzzing around you. And you're in the middle of it all, but you feel completely, utterly invisible. Like you're behind glass. And in that moment, a terrifying thought hits you. What if I'm the only one here who feels this empty? You are not the only one, and that feeling you can barely describe, it has a name. Let's talk about why we feel loneliest when we're surrounded by people, and what that desperate, quiet ache is trying to tell us. If you've ever felt that, I need you to know something right now before we go any further. You are not broken. You are not a malfunctioning social robot. What you are experiencing is one of the most painful, yet profoundly human psychological realities there is. And today, I just want to talk about it, not as some expert, but as someone who's been in that crowd, smiling while feeling utterly isolated. Let's understand it, because understanding it takes away its power to shame us. First, let's smash the biggest myth of all. Loneliness is not the same as being alone. Solitude can be peaceful, creative, restorative. Loneliness is a state of perceived isolation. It's the painful gap between the social connections you have and the social connections you crave. That's the core of it. You can have 100 followers, a dozen people to say hi to in the hallway, and still have a gaping hole where real, intimate, seen for who you are connection is supposed to be. That craving for intimacy, when it's met with just surface-level interaction, that's the recipe for feeling lonely in a crowd. Your soul is starving for a deep meal, and it's being handed a bowl of decorative wax fruit. And this is why it hurts so much more at the party than in your pajamas. When you're alone in your room, you're like, okay, I'm alone. That tracks. But when you're surrounded by the potential for connection and it still doesn't happen, that's when the toxic stuff starts to seep in. Shame, self-loathing. Your brain starts its worst kind of commentary. Look at everyone else connecting so easily. Why can't you do that? You're defective. You're a ghost here. That feeling isn't you failing at being human. It's a sign that your very real, very normal human needs aren't being met in that environment. And get this, it's not all in your head in the "you're making it up" way. Science shows that crowded, high-density environments can actually be linked to higher momentary feelings of loneliness. All that noise, all those fragmented interactions, the sensory overload, it can actually overwhelm our social processing. It's like trying to take a sip of water from a fire hose. You end up getting nothing at all. Your brain just goes, too much, can't connect, shut down. And there you are, standing in a sea of people, parched. And oh, the cruelest twist of our modern age, our phones. We pull them out in those exact moments of slight discomfort, in the lulls at the social gathering. But here's the psychological gut punch. That digital distraction isn't a bridge, it's a barrier. Studies show that excessive phone use during face-to-face time reduces the quality of the conversation and actually boosts feelings of isolation. We scroll through a highlights reel of other people's connections, amplifying our own sense of lack, while simultaneously sabotaging the chance for a real connection right in front of us. It's a double-edged sword of loneliness. And this feeling, it can be contagious, not in a germ way, but in a social, emotional way. Loneliness tends to cluster. If you're feeling profoundly disconnected, you might, without even realizing it, send out subtle signals. Closed body language, shorter responses, less eye contact. The people around you pick up on that, even subconsciously, and they might pull back just a tiny bit, and that pulls you back further. It can ripple through a friend group. It's not that people are rejecting you, it's that the state of loneliness unconsciously alters your social reality, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. You feel lonely, so you act in ways that, unfortunately, make it harder for others to reach in. Which leads to maybe the most heartbreaking psychological fact of all. Lonely individuals often enter a kind of social survival mode. Your brain, in its ancient wiring, starts to perceive social threat everywhere. And so unconsciously, you might keep a little more physical distance. You might avoid that slight touch on the arm. Your jokes might be a little more self-deprecating, pushing people away before they can get too close. You're craving connection like a man in a desert craves water, but your survival brain is acting like every other person is a cactus. It's a brutal, unconscious sabotage born from pain. So what do we do? If you're hearing this and nodding along, feeling seen, but also maybe a bit hopeless, what's the move? First, acknowledge it without judgment. Just go, okay, I'm feeling lonely right now, even though I'm not alone. Say it out loud. That simple act takes it out of the shadowy realm of shame and into the light of something you can actually look at. You've just defined the problem. You've named the gap. Second, think small, not big. You don't need to overhaul your social life. You need one moment of genuine resonance. At that next gathering, your goal is not to be the life of the party. Your goal is to have one real conversation. Just one. Find one person, ask a question that goes deeper than, "What do you do?" and actually listen to the answer. What's been the highlight of your week so far? What are you passionate about outside of all this? You were searching for a point of true connection, not a volume of noise. Third, audit your digital diet. When you're with people, try the phone in the pocket, face down on the table for just 20 minutes. Be brutally, awkwardly present. Notice the urge to reach for it when the anxiety creeps in and just breathe through it. See what happens in the conversation when you're not splitting your attention. And finally, have compassion for yourself. That voice that says you're a loser for feeling this way here is lying. It's a primitive alarm system misfiring. Your desire for deep, meaningful connection is your humanity screaming to be fed. It is not a flaw. It's your strength, even though it hurts like hell right now. The path out of that lonely in a crowd feeling isn't necessarily to leave the crowd. Sometimes it's to change the way you move within it, to seek depth instead of breadth, to offer a little bit of your real self and to look for that glimmer of the real self in someone else. It's terrifying because it makes you vulnerable. But in that vulnerability is the only place where that gnawing loneliness can finally be replaced. You are not a ghost. You are a human being, wired for connection. And the very pain you feel is proof of that wiring. It's a sign of life, not failure. So next time you're in that crowded room and the hollow feeling starts, I want you to remember this. Take a deep breath. Your people are out there. Maybe even in that same room. Start by finding just one. All right, that's it. That's what I wanted to say. Thanks for just being here and listening. It means more than you know. Seriously. Now go easy on yourself. You're doing better than you think.